You know, when I last rode a Kawasaki KLR650, it was 20 years ago during an amazing ride from Whitehorse to Alaska. Back then, I was super impressed by the KLR's simple, practical, bulletproof approach to adventure riding. Fast forward to today, and I'm happy to report that although the KLR's gone through many years of refinement, 33 in all, it still holds true to its original basic formula for long-running success. Reliable plus simple equals low-cost entry to adventure. So what does that mean in 2022? Well, no rider modes for one, no color screens or throttle by wire or high-tech gadgets. What you do get is a big 652cc fuel-injected single, mounted in a new, stiffer one-piece frame with revised steering geometry, tweaked suspension bits and saddle. In the braking department, ABS is now available as an option, while our adventure model with its revised generator and battery came with a new LED headlight, useful auxiliary lights, new larger rear aluminum carrier, and crash bars for the cowling and engine. So after more than 3 decades of production, how does the new KLR stand up in today's super competitive world of adventure machines? Well, let's ask this week's road tester, James Simzer.
You know, I have to say I have a soft spot for this particular motorcycle. Believe it or not, 20 years ago, I rode one of these up to the Arctic Circle.
Wow.
And yeah, I can't believe the model is still here. They've been developing it and refining. What did you think?
You know what? I love the bike. I mean, I found it to be very, very smooth, very comfortable. I know there's a lot of talk about the fuel injection this year. This morning being a pretty brisk morning, it started right up, came to life.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the fuel injection was the most impressive feature overall.
Right. The engine itself, you know, it's fairly bulletproof, you know, a big single. What did you think of the engine?
Incredibly smooth. On the highway at highway speeds, you could set it in any gear and you could just run along. It was great.
What did you think just overall about the brakes? You know, fairly basic braking package. Like, this is like a hammer.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
It really is. I mean, I think the overall bike, I mean, when you get on it and you start riding, the brakes give you great confidence coming into a corner, whether you're at highway speeds, whether you're off-road, they feel very good.
Yeah.
Really kind of confidence inspiring in the fact that you know that you can stop, and so it gives you the ability to ride.
Yep. Suspension, this came set up very soft today.
Yes.
You've mentioned it a few times. What did you think about the suspension?
You know, I think the overall suspension for me was a little bit soft today, but I think the suspension has definitely had a significant upgrade over others that I've ridden in the past. And I think that the change in the ergonomics of the bike, the lengthening, you know, making it over almost 2 inches longer, gave it a lot more stability on the road. And so as you were moving in and out of corners, I found it to be very, very stable.
It's a roomy bike. I can't believe how comfortable it is for me. I'm 6 foot tall and it just fits me just great, but there's lots of room.
There is a lot of room, and I think a lot of the room comes to, believe it or not, it's the design of the seat. I found the seat to be a little bit narrower, which gave me a lot of confidence to be able to stand up. You can squeeze in and you can maneuver the bike, but when you sit down, it's very comfortable, and you don't have that kind of packed up feeling between your legs, and you can just simply ride comfortably.
Yep. Big wide mirrors, fairly small but concise indicators. In terms of the layout, the cockpit. What did you think about the instrumentation?
I really like the instrumentation. I mean, it was really easy to read. Everything that you need is right there.
Yeah.
I think on this particular model, being the adventure model, having the extra half-inch bar upside is an upside for the bike, where you can mount your GPS, you can mount anything else. Also with the ergonomics, I mean, the lights, for the additional lights that come with the adventure model, easy to turn on off. You've got all kinds of power for any heated accessories that you may have, you know, USB charging. So I felt the ergonomics of the bike fit really nicely, and the handlebars were in a nice, comfortable position.
Obviously built for adventure. You got to take it off-road a little bit.
I did.
Throw it around. What did you think of that experience?
You know, off-road, I mean, it handles very well off-road. The tires were not as aggressive for the sand that we found off-road today,
Yes.
which was a lot of fun. But you know what? Yeah, off-road, it was very stable, feels very comfortable, and very maneuverable.
So I mentioned earlier, it's a bit of a hammer. It's a real bare bones adventure machine. Who is this for?
I think this is a great bike for someone who wants to get into adventure riding, would like to begin that experience. The bags have enough room to go away for the weekend, whether you're heading out to the cottage. But at the same time, I think the platform is very good as a nice entry-level commuter for somebody who's just learning and getting in and wants to have a bike that's a little bit larger and that's a little bit smoother on the highway.
Did anything disappoint you?
I think the only thing that really disappointed me today was the location of the shifter. Found the shifter was a little bit hard to get in and to be able to upshift. I would really like to see the shifter be able to be moved up just a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the way that it's laid out, it makes it difficult to do that with some of the shrouds that are there. But that's the only thing on the whole bike I think that I found disappointing.
Okay, so what is the one lasting impression that you'll have from this experience today?
Yeah, the lasting impression that I will have from this is that this bike is really a bike that you can just get on and go. And that's really, for me, the way that it's organized, the way that it's set up, the comfort, the styling, you can just get on it and go.
Awesome. Well, great job today, James. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome, thank you very much.